What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. Mike here, and we're talking the Book of Carol, Episode 4. And so, there were some things about tonight's episode that were really good. And then there were some things about tonight's episode that were just like, what? So let's get into it and get through all the fun stuff. So let's start off with, okay, I'm going to go back and forth a little bit, but we gotta get out of the way. The beginning scene, not so bueno. And listen, it was a really cool, intense scene. And what I found was it was very confusing and interesting all at the same time. They had this group of people, these zealots, that were going to give their lives apparently to become this super zombies, which I'm not even sure these people even truly fully understood what they were getting themselves into, because when she has that truck pull around and unleashes the machine gun, or at least in view, and then the people start freaking out, like, they're like, oh, wait, I didn't sign up for this. Like, what did you think was going to happen, Maybe that they were just going to get shot with the the serum or whatever, and then that would just be the end of it. I guess maybe they didn't expect to be killed and then shot with it. This is possible, but whatever. And yeah, an intense scene nonetheless. But the fact that all the people just got laid out by like 1,000 bullets, and Carol lived. Little old Carol. She made it out. Guys, I try to overlook it. We do. We try to look past these things, but it's just like, sometimes it's just too stupid to fathom. Okay? That's the only way I can put it. So yeah, that offset me at the first, and I was just like, God, I hope this isn't setting the tone of the episode. Like I said, although an intense scene and this and that, but the fact that she gets out unscathed, not even a bullet wound or scratch. She even got shot with one of those syringes, but I guess even within seconds managed to take it out. You'd figure some of that would have started to inject inside of her, but maybe it's a process, whatever. She gets it out, she runs, she knocks that dude out of the vehicle, and off she goes with Homeboy in the back, which basically she's doing most of the work for Madame Janae, because that was the whole plan. They were going to feed them in. And how about the single shot cannon to the door? You gotta love precision, right? Especially in the apocalypse. I mean, come on. Those two scenes, they were the biggest eye rollers, although intense and very cool. And then, of course, Carol drives right in, and then, those super zombies start charging in there. Then you knew they were screwed from there. A lot of crazy things happened inside. Another big lame thing that really did happen, and let's just get right into it, and so I'm not spoiling anything. The death of Isabel. I'm upset. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it was done poorly. The fact that Losang is the one that stabbed her, because, he was questioning her, and she wanted to try and get away, and she gave him a decent beauty mark on the side cheek, but pissed him off something awful that he stabs her right in the gut, and I'm thinking, well, man, she might survive, but then she's laying there, and then she passes out unconscious, and I'm like, no. And then she gets to her feet, right? And we're thinking, okay, maybe it's just a fake out. She's going to make it. Daryl get to her, whatever. No bueno. Carol finds her first, which that interaction was kind of weird. Because Carol, my problem with it is that she was like literally murdering everybody else she came into contact in there, but she sees a stabbed woman and suddenly she has a heart. Is that really Carol? I don't know. But whatever. She gets to her and she sits her down. They find out that Daryl's the one they're looking for. And by the time Daryl makes it out, Isabel is in her last breaths. She's pale as hell. She looked awful. I feel so bad because I don't feel like her character got the full, let's just say, arc that she should have gotten. Those are similar words to what Forbes wrote too, but it's very true. She didn't get to finish it out. I think there was no meaning in this death, and that's my big problem with it. It's like, what's the point? Just to drive Daryl and Carol back together again, and maybe the three's a crowd type thing, and maybe it might have been a little weird dynamic, but they killed her off. It shouldn't happen. Not this early. If you're gonna do it, could have been a little bit closer. It might have been more impactful too. By the way, she got to get back to Laurent, and then with all of them together, then maybe something ensues and goes down, and she gets killed, stabbed, whatever else in between, and has a beautiful send off there. At least it's meaningful, right? Maybe in that moment when they're getting on the plane and something goes down and she saves them. Missed opportunity. Now, true, I have not seen, of course, the last two episodes. I think they're already out there for viewing, but I'm going to wait. I'm just going to go week by week here with you all, and we're just going to see this play out. But, guys, those were the big ones that nailed. And, I'd give a solid point off of tonight's episode for each one of those because, again, they distract you from the show. You know, it truly does. And you guys know what I'm talking about. There's been TWD where we feel we're in sync, we're in line, the story feels good. Now let's face it, I know the stories have not always pleased all of us. Some of have liked the storyline, some haven't. My wife, she's kind of bored with this, although she did like tonight's episode, other than the eye roller moments I just told you about. I'm not sure how she feels about Isabel, but she did. She felt like this show was tonight's episode was more entertaining. I agree. I felt it was a little bit more on par once we got past all the BS scenes, you know. And again, the Isabel death, a shock. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later, more than likely, but just not like this. And so, and furthermore, like she didn't even share that Lo Sang is the one that did it. So Daryl doesn't even know that. I mean, so there's no redemption there or vengeance, because usually that's what Daryl's all about anyways. And I know he's gained more of a heart since he's been over in Europe a bit, you know, with Laurent, and you know, he wants this kid to live, and so much more. I think he's going to take him back to the States, it sounds like, at least towards the end of the episode it sounded like. So again, those were some pieces I was just not so impressed with, but some other things, I mean, it was pretty intense when those zombies got loose in the nest, and they're crazy running around and doing their thing. But I'll tell you the one thing I really enjoyed a bit of the storyline there towards the mid to end, I guess we would say, when they meet that couple, when Carol and Daryl meet that elderly couple. And what was interesting is, like, I didn't know whether to trust these people or not, and something still felt off at times or whatever. And then we see Carol actually break form. She actually sheds a tear and gives the woman a hug as she keeps seeing all these barns over there, these barn doors over in Europe and in the French area or whatever, and keeps seeing her daughter, or at least, you know, having that flashback. And so Carol loses herself a few different times, and that lady, when she finally opened up to her and she's like, it's okay, I survived, and you well, I was pretty convinced, like, no, this woman, I don't think she would do them wrong. But then what the hell happens? The not actual husband, but I guess the lover of this woman over these past years since she lost her husband and children, he makes some kind of quick deal with Janae's people, and when they stop by, and they end up coming back for them. And some craziness ensues, but I'm telling you, I enjoyed that whole sequence, whatever, because I didn't quite know if the old couple could be trusted or not. I mean, yeah, I have figured something was going to go down. I didn't exactly see it going down the way it did. Unfortunately, the elderly woman, she got killed, you know, so the guy, he made decisions, and he had to pay for them, you know. Daryl and Carol held barrier, that was nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole sequence. But but let's get back to it. Sorry. What I really, really loved, not only about this sequence, but Madame Janae getting it. And finally getting hers 20 times over. When she got shot by that dart by Carol. She thought she had the upper hand with the gun on Carol. Kept looking back to Daryl. Gets shot by it. But my only problem with that is Carol was shot by it too. No, yeah, Carol did remove it within, 5-6 seconds? Maybe that's enough. Madame Janae, maybe, 10, 15 seconds? Or at least trying to get it out of her? Now I'm trying to remember. Did she even actually get it? No, I guess she didn't. She couldn't because it was in her back. I guess she couldn't reach for it. That's right. So I guess it had the time to deliver enough of the serum, and that shit just tore her up. Very cool death scene. I almost add 2 or 3 points just for that, to be honest. I love gore. I love horror and thriller movies, you know, like that, and very cool. So that was definitely a highlight. I guess next episode we're going to have to see where Laurent has been, where did he go? But also to finish off, now that Madame Janae's dead, it looks like her little second command is now released Lo Sang and said basically, your way wasn't right, her way wasn't right, but apparently I guess she's like, give it another shot, only let's combine our visions together or something like that. So he gives a little rah-rah speech there at the end, and all the people, you can tell these people are kind of like, huh? Like, these guys just murdered half of our people, and now we're supposed to, like, just be cool with this? But I guess they're going to have to. It's like that or die, more than likely. So now I guess Lo Sang, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, is now the new big bad, confused big bad, I don't know. He's letting Faith twist his mind and everything else. And Isabel finally saw the light, and it's amazing that she did see that. And if they were to argue that that was her arc, I don't know. Maybe that could be argued, and let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think it was the right time to kill Isabel? Do you think her arc was complete? Do you feel like it was meaningful and then she did her part, or do you think she should have lasted a bit longer and made it towards the end to, finish off however it did, or even make it back to the States for that matter? Let me know in the comments. The only last thing I wanted to mention was Carol and Daryl's reunion, which I thought was pretty damn nice, actually. It was a great scene. Seeing Daryl break down as well. You see these characters actually breaking tears and shedding off that layer of armor that they normally wear around everybody else, just like Carol did with the elderly lady on the farm in this episode. It just was really nice to see that interaction. So I just wanted to make sure I called that out. Other than that, guys, pretty crazy episode. Again, I deduct some points just for some absurdities. I mean, I can't help it. It's that Fear of the Walking Dead style that just ingrained into my skin and my blood. I feel it. I feel it in moments, and just when I feel the Book of Carol, Daryl Dixon show is making strides to do better, I feel like sometimes they take a few steps back. So 2 more episodes left. We will see where this all goes. Thank you all for tuning in. If you made it all the way this far, check out my Dead Nightmare series. It's an indie zombie series that I have on YouTube if you want to check that out. I also have some fun things, everything you thought you knew about, and just name said movie. So I'm going to get a new one out pretty soon. I think I'm going to tackle Night of the Living Dead 1968. So I hope you guys get a chance to check that out soon. And until then, I will catch you at the next review. See you guys.